And we didn't even get time to get to our spot and get set up, and things were already going wrong as this boat was being towed in, and the crew was having a little bit of a rough time getting her around. And they've kind of got it together here a little bit at the end, but we just quickly grabbed the camera. It was like, okay, let's just grab this and see what happens. They're now drifting toward the other dock. Our guys on the bow, I mean, they can just toss a line probably on the pole now and get it over there. But the other crew starting to pull them back over now. As you can see the line in the water that they had tied up in the bow that they were using to tow this boat in. So trying to get them brought alongside, but in order to do that, really, they need to keep their boat moving forward. As they're trying to do that, they've got somebody on the dock pulling them forward as they're pulling in to try and get both these brought alongside. And starting to work it out. Towing in's never an easy process. This is why I always recommend you get tow insurance. Let the pros handle it versus trying to take it into your own hands, because when you take it into your own hands, things tend to go wrong, kind of like they are here. But a couple people shouting out orders. They kind of have it under control a little bit now. But welcome back, crew, to the greatest show on earth, and that is the Miami Boat Ramps channel. I'm your host, Broncos Guru, and today we are down here visiting 79th Street. But let's get the normal show started, as we're going to go over here and try and get our camera set up to where we can get the correct normal angle. And there we go, a little more familiar spot for us. As things are picking up, it's getting a little busy down here. Even the overcast weather that you see in the background does not stop the show here in Miami. Everybody's heading out. They're ready to hit the sandbar. It's warm. It's not raining yet, and they are ready to go out, enjoy themselves, and have a good time. And this Donzie, we've seen a couple times down here. In fact, I think I saw him yesterday, as well as I believe they were getting into an argument with the dock crew when they were down here yesterday. But today, launching, getting off, heading out, ready to enjoy the day. As Cap sees the cameras, the crew gets them ready to roll, and ready for another day down here on the sandbar. But let's go Miami Boat Ramp style as this crew heads out. And our crew looks like they've got it on the trailer. Motor's still on, though. Our guys up in the bow trying to get her ready to roll. I'm pretty sure that engine's still in gear. I'm just saying, I'm not 100% sure, but it kind of looks like it. So I'm assuming he was using it as leverage to try and keep it up further on the trailer. And right there, we just goosed the throttle to try and give it more. But she won't really budge. So it looks like as far forward as it's gonna go, at least under that engine's power. So it looks like he's trying to tell his buddy to go ahead and pull it forward. Did he turn the motor off or just put it in neutral? I'm hoping he turned it off. And no, it's still on. I thought so. I was like, what in the world? What is happening here? As it didn't land on the trailer right either. It's all kinds of crooked on this one. They're gonna have to try and fix that. I was curious. I didn't see, like, I thought the motor still looked on, but then, yeah, once they pulled out, I was like, yep, that thing's definitely still running. And it took Cap a sec to figure that one out. But it's not on. So attempt two to get this thing onto the trailer correctly. He's trying to push it from the bow as they're trying to pull out again. But again, you can see it's kind of leaning to the side. It's just something about it's just not sitting right on the trailer. She's just not quite wanting to hook up the way they want her to hook up. And they're going to have to figure this one out. Got another crew coming in over here on the side of him. Cap takes the slow roll approach. Wifey with the lines on the ready. Battling with the dog to make sure she can get around that. But gets the easy layup on the lines. A whole lot easier time than this other crew's having over here, trying to figure out exactly what to do to get their little party tune correctly onto the trailer. This one is something I don't normally see. So, not that somebody's busted or in handcuffs down here at 79th. They actually loaded my guy from the docks into the boat. Usually we see the police roll up down here and unload people off the boat and somebody on shore takes them. This was the exact opposite experience, as our guy here was put into handcuffs, then placed on the vessel for some reason. And the strange part is he just took his hat off, which even makes me wonder if they're not going somewhere with him. Like, in other words, they've loaded him up and he's being transported somewhere else instead of here at 79th. Really is an odd situation to have happen. I don't know what happened. No clue why he got put in handcuffs. But like I said, it kind of threw me off because it's the first time in many, many years I've ever seen somebody in handcuffs down here placed onto a vessel. Maybe they're just holding him until somebody comes down here and can grab him. And the vessel's just, maybe that's the best place. I'm really, really not sure. Very, very odd situation on this one. So now they're even placing a life jacket on him. So he's going for a ride. He's going for a free boat ride. Well, free boat ride, probably not the answer. I'm assuming there's going to be some costs in this somewhere. So it looks like another officer possibly walking down the dock, or somebody walking down the dock saying something about it. So I'm not quite... I mean, it looks like he might have a pistol on his side, like a firearm on his side. I'm not sure. So I'm guessing that's an officer on the dock. But they're talking about it, trying to determine what the deal is with this one. But I have to get... I mean, man, I guess maybe they could put the life jacket on for him just for his safety since he's on the boat. But again, it's just, I've never seen it handled this way down here. That makes me think he's going for a ride. They're going to leave and take him somewhere. So, shakes the guy's hand on the dock. He's pointing to somewhere else. Which just leads me to believe that, yeah, they're on top. This crew's rolling out. So that one's interesting. I wonder where they're taking him. I guess maybe they're going to meet some officers somewhere else to pass him off. It seems like it would be easier just for the officers to come here and grab him. But maybe that's just not the case. I guess in some situations, maybe it's easier for them to carry him to them. So we got another boat coming around here. No cowling on that engine. This crew pulls out. And our guy is going for a boat ride. And I'm assuming winding up. Being transferred to... I mean, there's no jails on the water, to my knowledge, here in Miami. So, I'm gotta imagine he's gonna be transferred to either another vessel or another car of some kind somewhere else. Again, that one just kind of, it throws me off. I've never seen it go down this particular path. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. What would cause them to do it this way versus them leaving him here and somebody picking him up on land? So here we go. We got our next crew coming in on approach as Cap's trying to get her lined up to where they can make their way toward the dock. So they make the turn and let the boat pass in front of them. Got one of our guys there ready with the line, ready to go. And it looks like they're going to make the attempt on Dock 4. Now, typically when I see this one, somebody starts turning that wheel a lot. It's when I get a little bit cautious about what they're doing. As typically on a twin-engine boat, we just see a lot more people just handle it with power. So our guy's off on the bow, good to go. And the person at the mid's trying to grab the pole to get him pulled over. And our guy on the stern, he started to go up on the gunnel and second-guessed it for a moment. Now he's trying to get the line in front of the tower and goes up on the gunnel in front of the tap. Oh, goes down! Goes down! Has to hang on to the pole. He's actually in a really bad spot here. You don't want to be in between the dock and the boat, especially as the captain's continuing to let this boat come in. Guys, you need to push that off so that you don't have the boat coming in on him.
Miami Boat.
And he's going to go ahead and try and climb himself up. There we go. All good. As they have the crew getting this one set up. And he's got both the lines on the dock. The jet ski boys are over there hollering at him. Ready to go. But fortunately in this situation it looks all good. And look at the other boat on the right hand side of them. They're like barely hanging on with fingertips there as well, as that boat is drifting off with no lines. And I don't know what the jet ski's doing here either, coming back in on him. Maybe he's with this crew. So we've got our cap solo coming in. And our dock crew down here is trying to get her attention for some reason. I don't know if they want her to switch to another dock or what. But again, they usually take control down here and kind of try and dictate where everybody goes. So you can see our girl's walking down to say something to her. But I'm not sure exactly what. So they're having the brief conversation. I don't know if she's trying to move her over to a different dock or what. But our girl came in solo. This boat looks familiar, but I'm not 100% sure on this one. But she's talking to her. I'm trying to figure out if she's trying to move her to another dock or what they're trying to pull off here. So currently just holding on. But I don't see any stress movement, so it looks like she's probably staying right where she's at. So our next crew's down here on the end, and Cap already trimmed the motor out on this one, but they never got the stern line on, and now somebody's yelling at them to kind of come back. So they're pointing to the dock they're on, like, no, 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 we want to dock here. As the stern of the boat starts to kick out. Whatever happened, they had a stern line ready, but never deployed it for some reason. And he fires the motor back up. Forgot it's trimmed up, though. I'm assuming they're moving docks. And the engine is trimmed out of the water. As they were coming in, Cap just trimmed it up because he thought they were done. And there you go. He winds up getting it pulled back down. So our girl who pulled in has the boat facing the wrong direction. So I was confused at first, but now I think I see why. As I'm assuming she's the tow vessel for this dock. I'm actually quite surprised, especially with our girl who comes down here and like controls everything, walking up and talking to her, that they're letting this one go. Usually they won't let anybody load down here on your boat or anything like that if you weren't here at initial launch. And I'm just guessing this girl didn't launch this here. She showed up. Now, I mean, the dock's being launched here, so maybe that matters? I really am not sure. But, yeah, I mean, they're going to let her get this thing loaded up. And I'm assuming tow it somewhere else. But, yeah, usually they will just stop any kind of activities like this down here. If you're trying to do anything that is not launch or retrieve your vessel, and everybody's not with you at the time you're doing it, they will just block it all to keep things moving. But this crew has found a way to get around that, as our girl showed up, turned this boat around, is waiting now, and they're going to load this thing on. I'm curious on this one. I mean, it's a jet ski, like a floating jet dock, but it looks about the size for this boat. So I'm actually assuming the boat she's towing it with is probably the boat that is going to be sitting on this jet dock in the end. But interesting setup down here. So our crew did get it up, but she's struggling a little bit to try and get this thing out, as the boat itself's a tiny boat, and as she's going forward, of course, it's trying to bury itself into the water, causing the boat to kind of get jerked back as we see here. I got to imagine, I hope she's not going far. This is going to be a rough tow if she is, especially when they get out there in the bay and there's yachts and stuff running around. It's going to be ugly. So this one, I didn't think much of it at first. I got to imagine this is way over the towing capacity for this Cadillac Escalade. I started thinking about it. Full-size SUVs typically only have like a base tow package of around 5,000, and then they'll get up to like 7,000-8,000. And then I think like the Expedition and the Navigator are the top tier in that like 9,000-ish range. But I don't believe any of the Chevy products hit that range, at least definitely not the Cadillac. I'm pretty sure the Cadillac's in like that 6,000 to 8,000 pound range. And I'm just guessing with quad motors on the back of this thing, this is way over that. Which is always a little risky. Now, I know everybody always says, oh, but it's Miami, they're just towing in flat land, but it's not about the towing, it's about the stopping. And maybe he doesn't have to far to tow. I don't know. But let me know in the comments what the towing capacity is for this and if he's over it. I don't know the weight on this boat off the top of my head either. It looks like an older Scarab that's just been updated and added motors. So, I mean, maybe it's a light boat, but I gotta imagine with the quads on the back, that alone's 2,000 pounds at minimum, probably more than that. So it doesn't need, the boat can only weigh 6,000 pounds to be at that 8,000 pound cap. And heck, he's got 1,000 pounds worth of speakers and stuff on this boat. And I've seen this boat before. When they pop the hatch, there's like another 15 speakers in the hatch of the compartment that's in the bow. So it's like, it turns into like a sandbar party area when they pop that hatch. And there's like 15 speakers blasting around everywhere. But always interesting to see what everybody's towing with down here. I mean, I guess it could be worse. They could be towing with the old U-Haul truck, which is a pretty popular option as well down here in Miami. So our crew's trying to get it over. As Cap's struggling, she's got to hang on up front. I always get a little nervous. I'd have one hand on the tower on this one because you're not really that close. So it's not like you're really going for a leap here, especially when you got to try and get over this bow rail. So one hand on the tower would at least give you balance, and you already can tell that Cap's struggling on trying to get it on. So they try backing up a little bit. Cap's going to try turning in one more time on this. So coming in on the slow roll approach, still got the line in hand. She's still ready to roll. But he's got to get her close enough to even be able to try and go for a toss. So just another bump forward. He's like a little nervous for some reason to try and get this thing close to the dock. So right there you go. You're getting close enough now where somebody should be able to at least go for a toss with the line. And now she's the nervous one as she tries to go for the toss, misses the first attempt, and now that bow's coming off, misses with the second one as well. Our guy's trying to get around her. There we go. Third attempt winds up landing, and he'll finally just step over that bow rail to try and go ahead and get him on and get this one brought alongside. So sometimes you got to do that in boating. You got to take a little more aggressive step and go ahead and just jump into action if things are not going according to plan in the first few attempts. But this crew looks pretty solid now as they get it brought alongside. So our crew here is trying to load the ski as they're blocking like half the ramp as they're doing so, as they decided to pull right dead in the middle of everything as our guy's stepping over the trailer to try and get it on. So he's trying to get it pulled over and around. Versus trying to power it on, which we see all the time down here. But I don't feel like you need to, but why are you trying to drag? Okay, I'm getting confused because he's like dragging it all the way across the trailer. Why wouldn't you have just put it on the bunks closest to you over there? And he's still going to get on and power it on anyway. So he could have just done that from the beginning, saved himself a little time and a little headache. but he winds up getting it loaded up. Always a little risky stepping on these trailers like that, man. You never know when it's going to be a little slick. I do love the fact that he just went right down the middle, though. I mean, he basically blocked the whole ramp for anybody. But it is getting a little later in the day here. Things have slowed down a little bit. Well, until it gets really late in the day, because it picks back up. This is like that lull. Down here, when most ramps I think of their busiest, like that 5 to 7 range, we kind of get a lull, it seems like, down here. And then after 7, it just goes off again. So, pulls out. Checks everything out, but stays there to block the ramp to check it out. Some of this doesn't make a lot of sense. And then we've got our guy here with the rental skis trying to move in, so I'm assuming they're going to try and pull out on this ramp as well. As he comes in right behind them. Maybe they're together, because he's kind of talking to the guy, so maybe he's just blocking this lane so they can go ahead. No, I thought they were blocking the lane, so maybe he was saving it for the guy with the rental trailer to come in, but instead, they're going to block the entire ramp as they do this. As our guy stayed right there, now he's going to come in sideways behind him and take this whole thing. So the funny part to this one is there's another ski on the other dock over here that I'm assuming it looks like she was waiting on a truck to come down so they could load. Right there. Now there might be enough room on the side of this still for them to do that, but he's going to slowly pull forward as they launch these skis on here. So in other words, they're going to put one on each side, and he's going to pull forward so they can bring the next one on, eventually blocking this entire lane. So if they're going to try and pull this out, they need to get down here now and attempt to pull it out before he starts going, or they're probably going to be here for a little while. But not sure why our other guy decided he just needed to sit here and block the entire thing as they do this. But again, later in the day, security's now gone. They're not down here, so they're down here till usually about 6 or 7-ish, something like that. Yeah, I know, 6, 7. But they, all of a sudden, they disappear. And then it's like free reign. Whatever you want to do down here is just fine. And I'm pretty sure the vehicle I just saw coming around is the trailer for the jet ski you see here on the right. Yep. As he pulls up with the look of confusion, like, what the hell are you guys doing? I personally think there's enough room I could slide in. And I absolutely 100% would. I would just slide right in there and just... because they're not really in any rush right here either. These guys are taking their sweet time as they try and set it up. And he's like waving at the guy like, come on, move it. But dude, they're going to be there a long time. There's no way this is happening with any sort of speed. So you either need to make your move and come back down, or let it be and move on to another ramp. So there we go. He goes to make the move instead, which is exactly what I think I would do also. I mean, you've only got a single trailer on it. You don't need a ton of room. Just enough width to get my vehicle down there. Which should be a fairly easy task if you know what you're doing. But he winds up stepping out of the car. Maybe just trying to eyeball it up and see if he's got enough space, but it looks like there's plenty of space to me to make it work. But he's gonna walk over to this truck and be like, bro, what are you doing? Come on, man. You're blocking everything. I promise you the rental guys here are not going to care whatsoever. They will stay about their business and just do their thing. So next crew coming in, the night lights are on. The beautiful Miami sky has turned that Miami color line as these crews try and finish the day up. So, you know we're getting down to business when wifey's taking the shirt off to try and get us docked, right? That doesn't make a ton of sense. I'm assuming she's changing clothes. But Cat gets it brought like right alongside. Perfect little attempt right here. And we've got another boat coming in. and they are coming in a little bit hot. So, but Cap's got the pole. That crew looks good to go. Let's see if this crew has the same success. Oh, we got the old boat hook out. These docks are not necessarily the best ones set up for it. It's nice to use to keep the boat off the dock, but there's nowhere really to grab. There's no cleats on these docks. And Cap's coming in hot. He's got to slow him down. Our guy with the boat hook's pushing him off. The guy up front's trying to get him to slow down just a little bit, but they are not. They are just sliding their way right down the dock as they continue to go. And they wind up smacking into it right here as he pulls the line, and they're trying to get it brought over. And there we go. They're good to go now as Cap winds up getting it stopped. So our crew's pulling up. I don't think they trimmed the engine, though. Oh, somebody's yelling at him now as they figured it out pretty quickly that, bro, the motor is dragging on the ground. So fortunately, our guy's able to get up over here and get it pulled up. Always got to pay attention to that one and know your outboard. Whether she can go down on the trailer and be pulled out still, or whether she's got to be up. But the crew has it set up and should be pretty good to go from here. Except they're blocked by somebody coming the wrong way through the ramp area. Right there, the car just stops right in front of them like, we're just going to hold you here as long as we want. Oh my gosh. So, next crew rolling in as the sun has basically set down here. The night lights come on as our crew comes in. So, Cap takes aim at the dock. Crew has the lines. Taking it slow and steady as he's ready to roll in. And they go for the toss, get her on. Watch out, the bow gets pulled up tight. But they at least are on with a dock on, a line on. So at that point, go ahead and kill it, Cap. Let them drag you over as they're struggling to get the stern line. There we go. Have it all set up. Now Cap can kill the motor. And another crew coming in right beside him. And there we go. Cap brake checks it. And that one's going to slide right in on the dock as well. As our last cruise of the day, making it look easy. And both these guys should be set up to go. And speaking of set up to go, we're going to go ahead and get out. And I spoke too soon as he is backing out. So there we go. Cap's going to try it one more time to get it alongside. But again, they should be pretty much for the most part good. And everybody getting out of here. And we're getting out of here as well. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got Boats versus Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.